I am late. I am so sorry, but I really, the last minute decided I really wanted to get these books for you because I've gotten asked a lot of questions about which books I read for nutritional information and the benefits of each. So let's get started. Today's go live is specifically about stages of change. And I know a lot of folks are going to be listening to this on replay, but I want you to participate as if you're hearing it for the first time. So, hi, good to see you. I'm so happy you're here. So one of the goals right off the bat with this is so that you know what we're doing here this morning. Okay, this is going to be maybe 15, 20 minutes. If you need to pop off, I understand. But the goal for you in understanding the changes or the stages of change while I'm talking is to identify where are you at on the stages of change. Because knowing where you are at will help you get to the next level. And what's the next level? Well, if you're here, it's because you want to eat healthier, you want to lose weight, you want to live your best life, right? And so, but there's something stopping you from getting to the next stage. And what's really neat is I bring not only my experience with working with so many clients, but also the nutritional information to go along with it, the psychology, and just my own anecdotal experience. So I'll be sharing with you my own experience along the way, but I'm really going to ask if you're going to take the time to watch this to, while I'm talking, identify what stage of change are you at and put it in the comments when you hear your stage. And then what action step are you going to take to move to the next level? So this is about not letting us wait till we feel like going to the next level. It's saying I'm going to, and I'm going to push forward, even if it's outside of my comfort zone. So I have the assumption that you're here to lose weight, feel great, be healthier than you are today, and have a healthy life. So that's my assumption going forward. The other thing we'll talk about is what's your next action stage in terms of education. So we'll go through that. So the first stage, where are my cards? I know these are backwards, so you can tell me they're backwards, but I know the only problem with go lives is that they will always be backwards. So, but I still a visual. So this is pre-contemplation. Okay, so this is stage number one. Pre-contemplation is stage number one. This is where you don't, let's use the walking challenge as an example. You have no desire, no interest, no understanding of even wanting to do it, right? So if we're talking about healthy eating, you may say, I have no interest. So pre-contemplation, you're probably not going to be watching this video, but if you are, you're in a pre-contemplation stage, it means that you're not aware of the benefits or your own obstacles or your own issues that could be remedied by, let's say, moving more. So, for example, to use the walking challenge as an example, right? Walking 20 minutes a day helps with arthritis. It helps with blood pressure. It helps with maintaining a healthy weight, helps with anxiety, mood, sex drive. I mean, some cancers, blood pressure, right? So to me, it's like you'd have to live under a rock to not know the benefits of exercise. But if you're in this pre-contemplation state, you may not be connecting the benefits with your own challenges, meaning you say, I don't have time to walk. I am just so stressed at work. I have a lot of anxiety right now about what's going on. You may not be making the link that your problems or obstacles can be remedied by this solution. Okay, so you're in pre-contemplation because you're so maybe tunnel visioned into what's going on for you that you're not seeing that there are solutions around. So you kind of are closed off like this. It's very much like this. The same thing with healthy eating, right? You may be feeling like, well, I'm fine. I'm fine eating the way I am. I will say for me, because I teach now unprocessed eating, eating for nutritional density, that is what I do. I am no longer in the market of just losing weight. I refuse to have people just lose weight to succumb to cancer, diabetes, or other high blood pressure, heart attack. I want it all. I want it all. So, but I will say, in the pre-contemplation place I was in when I was working, with Weight Watchers, I would have members ask me about, wait a minute, is salt really okay? I drink a lot of diet soda. And I was like this because I said, well, I was focused. It just matters how many points it is. And salt, 0 points. You can eat as much as you want. Diet soda, 0 points. You can eat as much as you want. And I knew there was something out there. But at that point, I was in the pre-contemplation stage. So I only cared about how many calories does something have in it, or how many points was it, with no connection to my own history or family history of breast cancer, diabetes, etc. Most every aunt and uncle I have has passed and before they were 65. So there's a lot of issues in terms of health in my family, but I had blinders on. So that's pre-contemplation stage. You have blinders on. It's okay. I'm not blaming you, but you may not be making the connection between the stresses in your life and your health and the solutions that are out there. And honestly, if you're in the pre-contemplation stage, you right now don't have any intention of moving forward right yet. But that doesn't mean you're never going to have an intention of doing that. And so with the pre-contemplation stage, the goal for you will be to simply move into a space. Sorry, I'm looking for my card. Where you're more aware of the obstacles. So, you heard what I had said, but I want you to begin to think about what are the obstacles that are damaging my life and my health, and really be open. So when you're in the pre-contemplation stage, to move out of that stage, so we're getting closer. The goal is to get closer to action, to maintenance, to just, let's be clear, the goal is to just be healthy. This is the goal we're working towards, not to lose weight for the rest of our lives, but to just have maintenance. That's the goal. So we want to push through these stages. So pre-contemplation, you want to increase your awareness. You want to make connections between your challenges and your behaviors. I hate that I have no energy. What's the connection? What are you eating? How much activity are you doing? Is there a connection between your lack of energy and the foods and the things you're putting, the toxicity you're putting in your body, right? You might be like, what do you mean? No, I'm just tired because I'm stressed. Okay, have you walked? Have you done all these things? So really being aware of that. Consider the possibility of change. Just consider the possibility of change. Now, what's the action on this step? Do not call me. So one of the things I will say is I'm here as a resource to you. If you call me in the pre-contemplation stage, I'm totally cool, but we probably won't connect, because what will happen is I'm going to have a lot of truth bombs for you about your health, about your fatigue, about your chronic issues, about your weight. And it's going to feel like because you haven't come to any of these on your own. So it'll feel very aggressive. And so at the pre-contemplation stage, you just want to be open to the resources on this page, open to the resources out there. But pre-contemplation, probably not the time to book a one-on-one with me, because I will be like, oh, you're tired because of this, and you're having weight problems because you're a food addict, and this, and you're going to be like, no, all of this is new information. So are you at the pre-contemplation stage? I'm guessing you're not, because you're here. So let's go to stage number 2. And stage number 2 is where we're going to spend the most of our time, because this is where my clients, or I shouldn't say my current clients, they're doing really well. But I would say when I was working with Weight Watchers, hundreds of people, this is where people got stuck. This might be where you are stuck. So this is the stage. It's the contemplation or discovery stage. Okay, I know it's backwards. Contemplation or discovery stage. This can be a place people get stuck. It's called, I know I need to lose weight. I know I need to eat healthier. And then there's a big ass but after it. Okay? I know I need to eat healthier, but I really love cheese. God. I know I need to be more active, but I just don't have time and I'd rather watch TV. This is where I imagine that there's 2 scales happening right now. Okay? And on one scale, this is the side that you're like comfort. I like the way the food tastes. I like not have to worry about my food. I like to not be socially awkward. I like to just eat whatever's available. I want to be comfortable in my house. I want to put on my cozy clothes. I don't want to go out for a walk, right? So you stack these things on here. I don't have time, Then on this side of the scale, there's a history of, breast cancer in my family. I'm concerned about blood pressure. Last time I went to the doctor, I was pre-diabetic. I have fatigue. I have brain fog. My pants aren't fitting. I can't sleep well. I often feel a lot of inflammation. I'm getting chronic headaches. I have bad acne. There might be other blood pressure issues. So here's the problem with the things on this side is that what happens with these things on this side is they're not always so immediate and we get adjusted. One of the things that's interesting that happens with my clients is when they start eating clean, they're like, oh my God, I feel so much better. It's like we don't even realize how crappy we feel. So it makes this side of comfort. I love cheese. I love fast food. It gets like wait, like, whoa, this side's way more. This side's way more because this side equals comfort. So this is where we get stuck because we don't want to add more things to this side. Sometimes this side, the healthy side, let's call it, it gets added to because a doctor tells us you are going to kill yourself if you keep eating this way. Do not wait until a doctor tells you that. If you are one of these people, I'm sorry, I'm gonna get all, you know, this is how it's gonna be. If you are waiting for a doctor to tell you, at that point, I'm not saying it's too late. You are causing so much more damage to your body. So I'm imploring you, do not let your doctor be the reason you decide to make a change. You're doing lots and lots of damage till that damage shows up. So you go, oh, look, my blood pressure is fine when I went to the doctor. Oh, look, my thing is fine. Well, is it getting inching closer? So I'm going to say that real quick. The other thing is, if you're so focused on this comfort, right? I want to be comfortable. I want to be comfortable. And you're in this contemplation stage. I need to find a program. I need to do something. I need to get healthier. And then there's the big ass but. So then you're sitting there going, well, I really don't want to let go of my comfort. And I really don't want to let go of my fast food. And I really don't want to let go of the things I love. This is exactly, and again, truth. This is how a lot of diet corporations will ensnare you because they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Okay. So people love good news about their bad habits. I remember walking into my first Weight Watcher meeting, maybe it was my second, and I love salt. I am a salt addict, right? And I remember holding my breath when I asked the leader if I could have salt. I knew even at I was thinking I was 29. No, actually, I was younger than that. And I knew salt was not good for me, but I wanted to hear good news about my bad habit. And she said, it's 0 points, do what you want. And I was like, hallelujah, I have found the program for me. Well, what she didn't tell me was when you eat a lot of salt, what happens is your blood then retains water. And I'll be quick here, but it does. It retains water. Well, then what that means is the volume of your blood has increased. You do that all the time. Your blood vessels are having to deal with this extreme amount of pressure along the side of them from all of that excessive volume. And what happens is your blood vessels get brittle, right? That's what high blood pressure is. It gets harder and harder, that pressure. And then because it gets so brittle, when that blood goes to your heart, it's like a hose, really hard, which is what causes or can cause heart, it's like arrhythmias where there's these issues because it's been pelted in a way it's not meant to be. Now, had she told me that when I asked about salt, I think I would have taken it seriously and maybe adjusted. But because I was in this mode, I didn't really want to know. So when you're in the contemplation stage or the discovery stage, trying to figure out what's the program I want to do. I know a lot of people aren't doing anything right now in December, or they're just holding on for January. So you might be thinking, what am I going to do next? Well, if you're in this discovery stage, be mindful of your own obstacles or desires to hear good news about your bad habits, right? So if a program is telling you can have whatever you want, but they're not addressing the concerns about your long-term concerns. And that's where you really have to be clear. What are your long-term concerns? Because if it's just weight loss, I'll tell you there's a lot of different ways to do that. This is about more than weight loss. But identify what is it that you want to do. This is, again, be clear. So when you want to do action in this point, how do you add more to this scale? Okay. This is imperative for your success when you do decide to take action. So remember we talked about the scale, right? This is the comfort side. This is the health side. Add more stuff to this side. The only reason there's not a ton of stuff on this side is because you don't have time to research it. You aren't open to it, right? Just like me with the salt. You just want to hear the good news about your bad habits. Be open, because knowing all of the things that you're at risk of will help you when you get into the action stage. Because when you get into the action stage, which we'll talk about, you're going to be so much stronger for it. So this is the stage you do want to call me at, okay? Because this is the stage where I'm going to give you some tools. I'm going to start saying, here's what you want to know. I'm going to ask you what your goals are. I'm going to say, well, then here's what's going to support your goals, right? You're going to start discovering. You might want to, investigate different aspects of healthy eating or plant-based eating or those kinds of things. If we're talking about the walking challenge, you might want to start investigating what are the benefits of walking, right? And also what have been my obstacles. So in the discovery stage, it's imperative that you're not only looking for more support for the action, but that you're also aware of your obstacles and challenges. So I think what can happen in the new year is people are they want to skip all the stages, but your brain won't let you, sorry. And so they want to skip all the stages and just go into action. But the problem is they don't have time to do a proper discovery stage. So they move into action and they just say, okay, I'm going to go with what I know. So what I know is calorie counting. What I know is points because my grandma did it and my great grandma did it and it sure the hell didn't work for them, but I've heard it works for some. And I'm not trying to bash Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers helped me lose my weight, but it didn't deal with my food addiction and it didn't deal with my nutrition. And so that's what I want it to be really clear. Yes, no problem, Janice. I see you. So you look at what are your obstacles. So for me, my obstacle is food addiction. And so I needed to be really honest about, okay, what is the impact, right? In terms of me going into like a moderation diet, will it help me with my food addiction? The problem is with food addiction, and I'm going to do a whole thing on this. So really participate in that, go live. That'll be next week. Are you a food addict? And remember, food addiction, it ebbs and flows. So you might not always be, but there are times it comes back. With Weight Watchers, it did not, for me, address my food addiction issues. And I'm so excited to be able to address food addictions for people now. Because remember, these highly processed foods that are hyper palatable are popping your brain with dopamine and it's just making you want more and more and more. So when I tell you just have half, it's very confusing to your body, but we'll talk about that later. So look at what has been blocking me from success on a program in your discovery stage. So if you're looking at returning to a program you've done before, what blocked you? What was challenging to you? Because this is the time to identify, is this the right program for me? So be open to all options. This is the time that you want to, so when you're in this, if this is where you are, and I think majority of you are in the contemplation discovery stage, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are. And even my current members, because I see some of you on here, you may be in the contemplation stage about eating core, right? Fully eating core. And for those of you who don't know, core is the basis of, right, like eating super healthy. And it's the basis of my program and all of these amazing doctors here. So what you want to do when you're in the pre-contemplation stage, I need you to move past this. People stay here for decades. I need to lose weight. This is where people stay for decades. Do not stay here. Move. How do you move? You take action. You do some knowledge, but you take action. So you pick a date you're going to move forward. And a lot of you are saying January, and that's fine. But what's your date? Increase awareness. Change that scale up. Because if you keep blinding your eyes to the health benefits of weight loss and etc., and you keep feeding the food addiction, the comfort. I want to stay in my comfort zone. I love cheese. I love fast food. I like ease. This will kill you eventually. And so you're not going to be as aware of that unless you start opening your eyes to hear. Many of these doctors that I'm telling you about, they will say, learn the science before you start doing this. Because once you learn the science, you're like, oh my gosh, I could never eat, salt, sugar, and oil again. But I know food addiction, and I know that's unfortunately not always true. So if you're in this stage, you're going to pick a date to move forward. You're going to research your options. This is the time when you're going to contact me, schedule a one-on-one, just so I can help you with it. This is free right now because this is a new business, but and it won't necessarily just be to go into my program. It can be also, how do you move you into a place of action with another program based on your goals. So I'm here to help. That's just my goal. All right. So once you get out of the discovery and contemplation, there is sometimes an experimental stage. I don't really talk about this stage because the problem or issue with the experimental stage, really depends on what you're experimenting with. And if you're experimenting, let's say with walking and health related something, I'm going to experiment with going to the gym. I'm going to experiment with maybe I won't eat meat on Mondays. I'm going to experiment with eating more vegetables or using less salt morning. Um, the benefits won't outweigh the pain. I am a salt addict and I literally would carry salt packets in my purse. Literally would get anxious if there wasn't salt on the table. Okay. I mean, that was my seasoning, was how many different salts. So if you told me, well, just try it once in a while, then what would happen was once in a while I would hate my food and I would never see any health benefits or lack of inflammation. Right. And so Kim, are you able to see me though, Kim? Because I see you saying waiting for invite. But if you can see me, you're good to go. But give me a thumbs up that you can see me. Kim's having some issues, so I just want to make sure. And then you can type any comments here because I can't see you guys' comments. So if you had told me, okay, oh good, Kim, then you're on. The invitation is just so you can actually be on screen too. So you can just type your comments instead as you go. So when you're thinking about experimenting with things, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Some of you need this stage. Some of you need to experiment with healthy eating. But I will tell you, when you dabble in any health related program, you will not see the results and you'll only experience the kind of pain of it. Okay. So dabbling can be really tricky because, like I said, with the salt, it would just mean if I didn't do salt, let's say 3 times out of the week, those are 3 times out of the week, I'm not going to like my food and I'm still never going to see the health benefits. So this is why for me with health related things, same thing with walking. If I walk once a day, I'm not morning. Good to see you, Miss Carmen. I'm not going to see the benefits necessarily. So experimental stage is fine, but I really want to move you, right, into the space of preparing for massive change. Because my goal for you is I'm tired of us living in the world of I'm losing weight. I'm ready for us to start switching our identity to I'm a healthy person at a healthy weight. This is who I am. So that's what my goal always is. And if it's not your goal, then this might not resonate for you. So I'd much rather you move into the preparation stage. Now, some of you are in the preparation stage. I know it's backwards, so I apologize. Go lives are fun that way, right? And yes, Lynn, experimenting with eating different veggies, that's a great idea. I think a lot of folks, that's a really good way to begin to realize like, oh, I do like vegetables. And then maybe lowering the processed foods. That's another huge one. Can I eat whole foods? Sorry, I got distracted, but it's a great comment. Preparation or the planning stage. Now, you may think when I'm ready, okay, a lot of you are saying in January, and that's cool. I'm a January start. I love January. I love the energy around it. But what I look at as a coach that's been doing this for 7 years is why were my doors flooded January 1st, but then by March, empty again. And I don't want that for my clients. See, I'm not about volume. I'm about quality. That's why I only work with 10 people at a time. It's about quality for me. So when you're in the preparation stage, this is when you've decided when you're going to start. You can kind of relax. I have some people who've already enrolled in the January Jumpstart. They're probably relaxing a little bit. They know that they're going to be starting the program, the plant-based detox. They're going to have the structure and support. They know it's coming. They want it faster, but we're not doing it in December. So that's what they're doing, right? If you're in this preparation stage, don't just chill. I want you to make sure that you could continue on this for a long time. So you really want in the preparation stage, you're saying you've decided I'm going to start in January or I'm going to start after this or you have a certain date you're going to start. Don't end there. Lay a foundation. Start putting a lot more weight on this side. How do you do that? Well, if you're going to do something like eating for nutrition rather than just weight loss, you'll want to beef up your brain. Start really getting all that ammo. Think about it like getting ammo. So for my clients who enroll early in the Jumpstart, they're getting information about documentaries to watch. They're getting information on how to identify their why. They're getting information on how to set up their space so that when they start in January, they have this phenomenal foundation. what can happen when people jump through the stages is they just want action and then there's no tools around them to start, right? And again, my current members who are on here, think about this in terms of core eating. If you're like, on Monday, I'm going to start eating core. It's going to be all the 2 pounds of vegetables, no processed food. That's what it's going to be. Well, you still need to do some work in this preparation phase. You don't get to just continue to eat horrible foods for you up until this phase, because when you do go into eating healthfully, you're going to experience a pretty hard detox. Maybe instead you want to start limiting your processed foods. You want to start increasing your vegetables. You want to get your refrigerator stocked with amazing foods. Preparation isn't, trust me, you can do it without it, but it's going to help have this confidence and the success. Watching documentaries like What the Health, Forks Over Knives, I'm trying to think of a few others. Feel free to put a few others in there, my current members, right? So you want to set the stage for success when you're in this preparation stage. At the preparation stage, you know when you're starting, you know who your coach is, you know what your day is going to look like, okay? And you're beefing up your brain to support this, right? Game changers. Thank you, Carmen. I think that's one of the best ones right now out there. And feel free to post any more, please. So this, in the preparation stage, you want to call me. I've had a few people who, when they do enroll, they're like, oh no, I knew I was going to enroll, but then they didn't tell me they were going to enroll. And I don't want you to wait till right before the jumpstart starts to enroll, because I want to give you the best preparation I can. Doesn't mean you're working every day, but so you would want to call me. We're going to set up a time. I'll put it in on my Calendly link or my mariamotivates.life website. You schedule a 15-minute and we'll make sure you have a strong preparation stage. Okay. So with the action on this, you're contacting, you know what you're doing, you know your date, you're beefing up your brain, and you're setting the stage. You might think like, wow, that's good enough, right? But no, there are two more steps, right? So we talked about the planning stage. Now we're at the doing it stage. And this, I think, is where folks really go awry. I know you're like, what do you mean they go awry? What are you talking about? Because they think they're done. I've started the program. Now the program, whatever it is, Weight Watchers, Noom, Chronometer, I'm trying to think of all the plans, Fitbit, Apple Watch, whatever, right? Maria Motivates. I am here now. I've done it. I've started. Well, this is where the work begins. And so that's why that preparation is key, so you can start experiencing what does it mean to have a lot of, right? A lot of vegetables in my life. You can start there. But with this doing it stage, you still have action to do. You have to implement your plan. For those of you who are saying you're stuck, and I totally get it, meaning you're doing it. I think I felt like this with the Weight Watchers a little bit so as a lot of you know, I've lost over 75 pounds on Weight Watchers, but then with COVID and stress, I gained like 35 back, I think. Yeah, 35. Which was totally terrifying for me, and it wasn't working for me, but I felt like I was doing it. I felt like I was in action, yet I wasn't seeing any progress towards my weight loss. I wasn't seeing any progress, and I did this for 2 years and watched the scale go up. And not only did the scale go up, my energy went down, my skin got bad, I had lots of bloat, I started to have arthritic issues in my feet. I didn't want to be active. It sucked. If it was just the weight, I would have probably been cool with it, but it was not just the weight, right? But I felt like I was doing it. Well, when you're in the action stage, you need to assess, is what I'm doing working? Reassess, recalibrate. This is why I love the work I do with clients. I just said this morning, I think it was Carmen, right? Is that I had said to her, like, hey, let's book a time. Because I do one-on-ones with folks when they're in a space of not necessarily a challenging space, although it can be, but it can be a place of changing and reassessing. This isn't working for me. Well, when you're doing it, you don't just keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. Well, I'll just track again on Monday. I'll start tracking again on Monday. If that's not working for you, reassess. What is happening? Oh, good. I'm so glad you're booked. Okay, awesome. Um, you know, the other thing that I will say, this is where like the years of wisdom, like I don't know how many people get to work with so many clients like I've had the pleasure of working with, but one of the biggest challenges, this is number one, dude, red flag, you guys, on this. If I could just share, if you take one thing is, do not just focus on the scale. When you simply focus on the scale, when all you're doing, it's not bad. I get it. I've been there. I just wanted to see the scale say 125, right? Or 129 or whatever it was, right? This is what I wanted to see. But then what happens is when I start to do a program, be it Weight Watchers, be it Noom, be it Maria Motivates Core Plan, the Jump Start. If you don't love the process, you're not going to be successful in what you do. If you don't love the process, you're not going to be successful at what you do. If you're only focused on the scale number, then every morning becomes a disappointment. I'm still not at the weight I want. I'm still not at the weight I want. Still not at the weight I want. Well, this isn't working. Well, what's working mean? Because if my goal is to wake up like this, here's how I wake up with energy. When I go for a walk, I want to walk more. I am bursting with energy. I crave vegetables. That is my goal. Wouldn't it be so cool to crave vegetables? Last night I was hungry. I was surprised I was hungry. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so craving cabbage. Never in my life did I experience that before, right? But that is my goal. The scale, great, but see, so that meant I had a success yesterday because I ate this cabbage salad and I felt good. I had a success this morning. I woke up without brain fog. I woke up with energy and clear skin, right? I get to live in my successes every morning. So whatever you're doing, do not make the scale be the goal because you will be disappointed again and again and again. Plus, and I've seen this with my lifetime members, you hit the goal and the happiness isn't there that you thought. And more than anything, you get the yay one day and yay, everybody's excited, and then it's over. And you're like, well, what do I do now? And so you want to fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the process. But that means recognizing what your true goals are. Are your goals so that, I'm going to tell you right now, you ever see those videos with the ladies and they're like 80 years old and they're doing the exercise and they look like they could take somebody down or they're dancing around? That is my goal. That is my vision. And that is the person I'm going to be. I want to outrun my kids as long as I can. I will be that person. I know 100% that is my goal. I know 100% they're not going to wait for me. I know I'm a horrible sick person. So that's my goal. So get in touch with what your goals are. But when you're in this action stage, know that you need to enjoy the process. Make sure what you're doing is aligned with your long-term goals, aligned with that vision you have of yourself, and that you're rewarding your success along the way. And then make sure you're connected with support because you can begin to act. This book here, Dr. Furman, you could do his whole plan. I've met with community classes and had folks take my suggestion on reading the Starch Solution, which I think Sarah said she bought today, and they only saw me for 2 hours and they're already having great success and they've been phenomenal. But at some point, it is really good to have support. And so that's why part of my program is very much like Weight Watchers in the way that when the first 4 weeks, you're meeting with a small group twice a week because we just need that kind of support. And then after, if you choose to stay on, once a week, if that's what you want. This is the goal, folks. So we're at our last stage. And by now you should identify what stage you're at and you should be posting it. What's the stage you're at? And then what's the action you're going to do? So I'll do a quick recap after, but I want you to post what stage you're at. So maintenance, this is the goal, right? This is the goal. And it's part of your identity. This is where it's really tricky and it goes back to that discovery stage. What do you want your identity to be? Do you want your identity to be someone who I know I'm going to die of something at some time, might as well be having fun, might as well be eating food, might as well. I'm not, if that's your identity, then find what works for you for that. This is not it. Just so you know, this is not it. What is your identity? And then, because whatever you do to lose your weight or to get healthy, you're going to need to do long term. So whatever you do to lose your weight, you have to do long term. If you're doing Peloton every day right now, bravo. Zumba, I know we got some Zumbas on here. Bravo. But you're going to keep doing it. And you love Zumba. And you love your Peloton, right? So when you're thinking about your long-term goal of maintenance, and this is part of your identity, is part of your identity. Now, where my clients get tripped up is this eating for nutrition, this awareness of the addictive nature of food, this may not have been part of their vision for their identity. And I totally understand that. I learned about this way of eating when I was a leader. I learned about it in 2000. I started my first certification in 2018, I think, maybe even before that, actually. And I didn't put anything into action because I wanted to just not have to eat to live. I wanted to eat for pleasure. I wanted to eat for comfort. I wanted to eat for socialization. I wanted to eat for numbing. I don't know how else to say that, but I didn't want to give that up. I did not want to give it up. And so, although I knew about it, I was much more content to stay with a moderation diet where I could at least have a little cheese. I could at least have a half a cheeseburger. I could at least have Snickers on Halloween and I wouldn't have to feel bad, right? But what I didn't realize was that was feeding not only into the chronic illnesses that our bodies like fighting along with aging, right? But it also wasn't helping me be the best and most confident person and the most healthful person I could be. And it was playing into my food addiction because what it told me was I could use food to numb as long as I had a salad for breakfast and lunch, but dang it, I could have a cheeseburger at dinner because I had enough points for it. And so it just delayed my food addiction and made it manageable to a degree, but I was constantly obsessing over food. I never felt free of that like I do now. And so, what I think can be tricky about transitioning into something like really healthful eating is I don't know that that's society doesn't say that's an identity we want to have. Society says you want to, have a fun habit, go to See's Candy. You want to be able to get a candy bar. It's awesome. You want to be able to eat Taco Bell. And in those few moments when you're eating those foods, life seems great. It's the moments after, it's the moments while you're waiting for your mammogram results and you're alone, in the x-ray room going, oh gosh, I should have taken better care of myself. It's the moments you're waiting for your A1C numbers to come back. So we oftentimes sacrifice what we want in the long term for what we want right now. And eventually your body will pay the price. Your body right now, and again, I know a lot of the science about it, and I don't want to take too long, but your body right now is taking any vitamins you potentially are giving it, whatever you are, and using it for current usage, but it really should be using it for long-term care, reduction of oxidative stress, telomere development or telomerase. These are DNA things. I know I won't go into it, but when you are eating toxic food all the time, these highly processed foods, your body's just fucking working so damn hard. And you're just making it work. And you can feel it. You can feel it because once you stop eating the food, you'll feel this horrible feeling come over you and you'll want to eat the food again. You'll feel the fatigue. You'll feel a headache. You'll think it's hunger. It's not. It's your body starting to go, oh, thank God she stopped eating. Let's detoxify this bad boy. And then you start to say, oh, I don't feel so good. I better eat something. But really, it's your body trying to detoxify. And this happens with cigarette smokers, right? If anybody smoked, it happens, right? You're fine. But if you stop smoking, you start coughing. And so you didn't cough when you were smoking very much, but as soon as you stop smoking, you start coughing and you start spitting up phlegm. Well, guess what? It's your body going, for the love of God, to stop smoking. Let's clear this stuff out. And it hurts like a mofo. And the same thing happens when we're getting out of that toxic food environment. But that can be very discouraging. That's why I do the support where I have meetings twice a week, because with daily motivation for my jump starters, because it's a painful experience and no one will really understand. But once you're through it, you get to experience the road to recovery. And hopefully a lot of the current members will be able to share their amazing success and their amazing success in their brain of what is my relationship to food, right? And what am I asking it to do? So I think when you're thinking about maintenance and long-term part of your identity, think about, what do you want your identity to be when you're 85 years old? What do you want your identity to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Because it starts today, right? This is how it starts. It starts today. So that's the goal for my clients, is to get into this maintenance stage, right? That's the goal. And them to be leading, which is where they are at. I have my clients are in a place where they're actually able to lead meetings and getting there. And that's the goal, is I want them to be leaders in health. So what's next? Whew, that was long, but I think it's beneficial. What's next? What stage you're at? What action are you going to take to move there? If you are in this stage one of pre-contemplation, just open your eyes. Open your eyes to the fact that you're probably, walking does help your stress, right? The issues that you're experiencing are related to the food and the things you're doing to your body. So just be aware. That's all. When you're in the pre-contemplation stage, you're saying, like with the walking challenge, I don't want to walk. Why would I want to walk? Well, I just told you walking reduces blood pressure, cancer risk, helps with blood pressure, anxiety, stress. Are you feeling stressed? Maybe you should walk, right? Okay, number two, if you were in this stage, the contemplation and discovery stage, then you're with a lot of people. I need to lose weight, but I need to move more, but you're more right now, have a scale in front of you, and you're more concerned about your comfort and then what's over here and what the benefits are to your health. So what do you do in this pre-contemplation or discovery stage? Get educated. Buy one of these books and read it. Watch Game Changers. Schedule a time with me to talk about it so we can get you past this discovery stage and into the action stage. Be aware of what tripped you up in the past with certain programs. Do not ignore if a program has worked for you. Don't ignore that. Stop blaming yourself. If for me, Weight Watchers wasn't working because it didn't address my food addiction or nutritional needs. I love Weight Watchers. It didn't work for me because of that. I needed a step higher. And so it was playing into my food addiction, but I kept blinders onto that for a very long time. So open up your mind to different possibilities out there, and don't look for good news about your bad habits, right? Challenge yourself. So I want you to move from this stage. The goal is to get you here into preparation. So no more, I want to lose weight, but I want you to move into preparation. I am going to, and here's how. I contacted Maria. We set up a one-on-one. I know I'm starting January 14th. She's setting me up with success. So even though right now it's the holidays, in my mind, I'm going, I know what's going to be happening January 14th. So I'm going to start the stage, right? Even if it's not my program, you guys, I'm here to help you as long as I can. But so you want to get educated in this preparation stage. So if you believe you're going to start something January 14th, begin to set the foundation now in a calm way. Clean your space, watch some documentaries, read some books, write more about your why this matters to you, write more about your identity, write more about your relationship with food. Open your eyes, but in a calm way, okay? Then you're going to be in action. So by January 14th, whether it's my plan or another, I really want to see everyone on this space to be in action, to do it in the doing it stage. You're implementing something, you're enjoying the process, you have support, right? That what you're doing is aligned with your goals and you're reassessing that. Connected to support. Do not do these things on your own. I know you think, I'm not a group person. I don't really love group people. Well, you know what? What's going on in your brain isn't working. If you were so dang smart, you would have lost weight already, right? I'm not trying to be an ass, but I'm trying to be what happens in here. This is not going to give you the answer. If it did, you would already be done. You may need to hear someone else say, here's what worked for me. Anyway. So, okay. Know what your last goal is, folks. Know what the last goal is. The goal is maintenance. It's to be part of your identity. And I think knowing this is the end goal now may help you understand how to do the other stuff. What is the identity you want? Because my identity is the hot grandma. My identity is to wear the cutest clothes until the day I die. My identity is to be able to walk around and not pick a house that's flat because I can't do stairs. My identity is to have as little pills, surgeries in my life. That is my identity. And that is the path that I'm on. So what would you like to do? I see Lynn asking, thanks, I love the amen. What do you do? Okay, so what do you do next? It's pretty simple. If there's anybody on my members, I don't know if you're still on because I can't tell. If you can put my email address in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. It's www.mariamotivates.life, and I'll message you if you just type a message here. There's a section to schedule a time with me. It's a free 15-minute, and I'm really telling you guys know me. It really is going to be, I'll tell you exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be asking you your goals, asking your challenges, asking you what you've tried, asking you about your obstacles, asking you why this matters. And then together we make a determination. And I've determined with people that I am not the plan for them because I am doing something really specific, but I've helped them to figure out what is the best course of action. So on that website, there's a section that says schedule a 15-minute session with Maria. I think everyone who's watching this should do this, unless you're in pre-contemplation, because I'm going to upset you when I tell you, hey, you're killing yourself, or hey, you need to take this stuff seriously, and then you're going to get all angry. So if you're in the stages, any other stage, I would highly suggest, why not use the resources? Don't do this, right? Do that. If you want to take things to the next level, take action. Knowledge is bull. Action. You need to take action. Thank you so much, Linda. I really appreciate that, right? You need to take action. Get somebody in your corner. Get somebody in your corner. You do this in your job for other people, or you do this in your life. Think about how you do this in your life for other people. You support them, you cheerlead them, you remind them of why they're important. You do this for your staff, you do this for your coworkers, you do this for your clients. I'm doing it for you. Get somebody in your corner whose sole purpose is to support your goals. Get someone in your corner whose sole purpose is to support you with your health goals. Every client I have right now knows that if they text me right now, they're going to get a response. They know how to contact me. They know how to schedule time with me. They know the next time they're going to see me. Get someone in your corner, right? To take you to the next level quickly, efficiently, passionately, right? To call you on your shit and to support you in all the ways possible. If it's not me, that's fine. I'm totally cool. But find somebody to be in your corner. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in this stage. And if you have somebody in your corner, they're going to say, well, you told me you really want to do this in the future. Oh, you tell me you want to travel to Europe and you want to walk around. Oh, you told me heart disease is an issue you're concerned with. They're going to keep reminding you. And they're going to say, you know what, I'm not really that concerned about. A good coach will tell you, I'm not concerned about your comfort. I'm not concerned about you using food for numbing. Let's find another coping mechanism. Let's really do something. So take massive action. I challenge each of you to schedule a time with me. Linda, I've put the information in the chat. So you'll go there, schedule one-on-one. There's no expectation you're going to enroll with me. It's so that you can, when January starts, have all the information you need to make the best foundation for what you're deciding, what you're going to do next. I'm so impressed with my clients. I'm going to be asking them to post some of their success. I'm always hesitant because I don't want to call them out, but they are so amazingly successful in what they're learning, not only in the weight loss, but what they're learning about their relationship with food. So if you had me as a leader at some point and you were like, oh, it sucks because I can barely talk to her after the meeting, this I felt that too, and this was my answer, is I do it myself. And I do it in a way that I can give you as much scientific information, as much real science-based information about nutrition. I love this time. I'm so excited. So our next talk is going to be about whether you're a food addict. Are you excited? I don't know what date or time. So I'm struggling to find a time and date that works for you. So feel free to post a date and time. Yes, truly. Choose you, choose health, right? Choose you, choose health. I really hope that this has touched somebody. I hope you do some action. That is my life vision, is just to help you get healthy. And the tools are out there, and I ignored them for a lot of time, and I get it, but you don't have to. And if you're watching this, you don't really want to. All right, this week's raffle prize, and this is not, you're not going to get this beat up copy. This is my Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. He talks a lot about food addiction, and specifically in relation to the foods we eat. Because believe it or not, the foods we eat play a role in that. Please comment, let me know what stage you're at. Choose you, choose health, be gentle, and get the support you need. Mwah! Talk to you guys soon.